What's going on YouTube? It's Barrymore back with the Ulforceveedramon X Profile. As mentioned before in my last video that I was going to update this deck for the bt12 format. This can also be used for the Ultimate Cups coming up, since there was no sort of restriction for Ulforce. It's just a mono blue. There's one card that you would have to switch out, but it could be switched out for another different card, but that would be showing you here at the end. So this could be used for, like I said, the Ultimate format or the regionals if you decide to participate in any of those. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's go with the profile. I'm gonna start off with the eggs. The eggs haven't changed at all. It's still just the 4 Wanyamons. Lots of draw power from this deck, or from this card, because I mean, you know, when you swing, you just have Tamers, so you're always gonna swing and draw every single time that you swing. Well, once per turn at least. So nothing's changed there. Rookies as well. I've changed a couple of the rookies up. I'm still running just the 4 Vmons from bt11. It's the best Vmon in the deck. It searches you a Tamer and a Vedra, top 3, and then heritable. Whenever you play Tamer, you get a memory back. So nothing's changed at that. It's always going to be a mandatory for an Ulforceveedramon deck as of now. Still playing the 4 EX1 Vmons. Whenever you unsuspend once per turn, you do get memory during your main phase. So whenever you go into Ulforce, you go ahead and unsuspend, get a memory back from this one. The other 4, I'm going to be playing 2 Madokis. This one hasn't changed at all either. Memory blocker, because you know, memory boosts this thing, and then you know, them getting memory back from some way or another. Other than Tamers, so this is a good counter to a lot of decks right now, like Biozamon, if you play them at the right time. The other 2 I'm going to be playing is Siakomon. This is mostly for the Hunter matchup, and sometimes War Greymon, Black War Greymon, because they can reduce Digivolution cost. This if you can play this at the right time against Hunters, you can stop them from, you know, playing a Digimon for 2 and then, you know, Digivolving for 2, or sometimes for free, because they're Tamers, so they can pass turn if they play for 2 and then have to Digivolve for 2. So if you can play this card at the right time with against Hunters, you can have a Digimon out safe without being tucked under one of your Tamers with superior mode. So this is it for the rookies. It's 12 count right there. Going on to the champions, not much has changed here either. Still the Veedramons. Whenever you play a Tamer, when this one's on the field, you get to draw a card. You don't really use that as much unless you really need to draw and you don't have any of your pieces and he's on the field. If you can safely keep him out without him dying next turn, or without you thinking he's going to be dying next turn, go ahead and braze him out, play Tamer, and you know, you get a draw. And heritable, whenever you play Tamer, you just get a memory once per turn. I still play the Leomons, play 3. I don't think there's no other Veedramon that I like. I don't like the Veedramon Zero. I don't think it's that good, and that's just my opinion. I just like the Leomons better. Being able to just, you know, play a Leomon off a Jerry, or even just having the Leomon on after raising a Vmon and Digivolving into, just to protect your field, just so you can start searching for other pieces while you build a different another stack in the back. Like I said in the last video, people don't like swinging over the Leomon, or they don't like, you know, swinging into security with rookies, because their Leomon's just going to block, and you're going to get 2 memory if you get to lead it and draw a card. I like this package a lot more than running more Veedramons. And then the last 3, I'm running 3 Lanamons. I replaced the Kubamons just because Lanamons, I think, are a little bit, they're not better, but I like playing, I'm testing this card out more. I like being able to play this on top of a Tamer, and then putting, if I have an Ulforce in the field, putting on like another Vmon, or that gives me a memory if I play Tamer, or, you know, something like that, just to give this jamming. So if I go over a Tamer with this, give it jamming, and then swing security and it hits a Digimon, doesn't die, now they have another body on the board that they have to take care of on top of the Ulforce if you have one out. It's also a good closer because it's a hybrid. So testing that out for right now. So far it's been working so good. Play 4 of the Veedramons from bt11. On main phase, you can suspend it to look at the top 3. You get all Tamers, not just 1 or 2. You get all 3 if you hit 3. So you get to add all Tamers from that search. And heritable, whenever you attack with your Ulforce or your Ulforce X, you get to activate its one of your arenas on play. So if you have when you have the arena from bt11, you can give it block or evade to one of the Digimon that's swinging on top of this guy. And then still playing the 3 Veedramons. The ultimate lineup hasn't changed at all. This one has inherited jamming, so he can just swing in for free. If you swing into security, he swings in with jamming, and you don't have to worry about hitting a big Digimon. The only thing you worry about is option cards or Tamers. Tamers is not so bad because they don't really do much. But if you have a hit option card, like if you're playing against Beelzemon, if you're playing against Beelzemon, the best card to go up against is this one, because if you hit a Deathlinger or Ravage Barrage inside security, this guy's gonna die most likely. Early on, if you hit a Deathlinger and they only have less than 10 cards in trash, it's pretty safe to swing with this guy. But later on in the match, maybe like 3 or 4 turns in, they're probably gonna have, they're most likely gonna have more than 10 cards. So if you hit one of those Deathlingers, this is gonna die. So you gotta be very careful whenever you going up against Beelzemon, because you don't want your stack to die before you can go into an Ulforce and give a block or evade. Playing the 4 Ulforce, of course, because this is the boss monster. Ulforce, whenever you attack, you can tap one of your arenas to suspend the arena, and then do his when Digivolving effect, which is when Digivolving, you can play a blue Tamer. So you want to have one of your Ulforceveedramon suspended, and then go into Ulforce to play the arena if you have one. If not, any other Tamer to unsuspend it and get all its inheritables, which if you're fortunate, you would have the Vmon and Veedramon to give it back to memory. Either Vmon, because it's going to give you a memory regardless if you unsuspend or if you play Tamer. And then once per turn, you can bounce up a level. You can bounce to level 3 whenever you unsuspend. Add a level for each Tamer you have. So if you have 4 Tamers, you can bounce to level 7. If you have 2 Tamers, you can bounce to 5. 1 Tamer 4. 3 Tamers 6. 6 is the magic number. You want to switch. You want to do his ability whenever you have at least 3 Tamers, so you can bounce to level 6 on their board. And then I am running 3 of the Ulforce X's. I know a lot of people are running 2. But sometimes in a lot of matches, like Red Hybrid, or even in Beelzemon, you want to have this guy out for the most part with this unsuspended arena, because I've had a couple matches where they would come out with their Impmon, and it's a warp Impmon, and they have nothing else on the field. This guy's on the field and have arena that's unsuspended. If they attack with that Impmon and they warp into a Beelzemon, let's say the EX2 Beelzemon, and they have 30 cards in trash, they're going to attempt to delete him. So you evade and then suspend arena to unsuspend and bounce it. So they have to figure out a way to unsuspend this guy and kill him without losing their stack. The only way they can do that is if you give them 3 memory, they have an Impmon on the warp that warps in the back, and then they play an Impmon first before doing their things, because the Impmon, this guy only bounces the lowest level. So if you can successfully clear their board and then leave them with like 1 or 2 memory, then you can, for the most part, just be safe with this guy on the field. So because he will unsuspend and then bounce back their guy, and then they'll have a clear board. And even if they try to Deathlinger or Ravage Barrage it, you just unsuspend by suspending the arena, and he's gonna have evade, so he's free to he won't be deleted, is what I'm saying. Sometimes you want to play defensively too with this card. Like, you don't always want to go for game that turn. That you can, even if you see that you can go for game, if you see the opportunity to clear their board before going for game, and then you can go for game the next turn, play defensively, because if you swing into security, let's say with the Ulforce or whatever, and then you hit a Rival's Barrage, that's going to be 1 less arena you have to block with this guy, or to keep him on the board the next turn. And then now you won't be able to go for game. So if you can clear their board and keep 1 arena unsuspended, and you can't go for game yet, then just play defensively. They don't always have to be so aggressive with this deck, and that's how I've won a bunch of matches. Is I clear their board, and they weren't able to do anything the next turn, so they just play a rookie or try to Digivolve in the back and raise another stack, and the next turn comes to me and I can swing a bunch of times because I have like 2 or 3 arenas on the board. On top of that, I'm building a stack, so in case anything does happen with this guy, I have a stack ready to go for the next turn after that. So don't always have to play aggressively. Try to play defensively if you see the opportunity that you can win the following turn without them doing anything. Now for the Tamers, we play 4 arenas, of course, because arena is broken. Whenever you play this, you give one of your Veedras or Vmon block or evade, and then whenever one of your blue Digimon is suspended, you can whenever one of your Veedramon is suspended, you can tap this to activate his Wind Digivolving effect, which works really well with the Ulforceveedramon, so he can restand and do his Wind Digivolving to play a Tamer. And then once per turn, one of your blue Digimon unsuspends, you get a memory. It doesn't have to be Veedramon, doesn't have to be Vmon or Ulforce. It can be a Madoki, it could be a Leomon. As long as a blue Digimon gets unsuspended, you're getting a memory at the beginning of turn with this card. Still running the 4 ties. Tie is broken, it's a 2-drop. All you need is a Veedramon on the field. You can't have a Vmon, you have to have a Veedramon to activate his effect. So if you activate his effect, you can tap it to give him 1000 DP, or you can tap it to draw a card. If you're missing cards, tap this, obviously, and draw a card, see if you get your piece. If there's a Digimon on the board that's over you, let's say he's a 13k or he's a 12k, and you're matched, tap him to give him 12,000. Then you can attempt to swing over it. Even if you trade and you have evade, you can unsuspend and evade it again, so you can evade the deletion, but you can get rid of the Digimon. And it's also a cheap drop cost, 2-drop cost, so you can unsuspend your Ulforce and keep swinging in if you need to. Then I played 2 Davises. Davis is your standard searcher and memory setter. You plays for 4, search the top 3, get a Vmon, Veedramon, whatever blue Digimon comes up, and then he sets your memory to 3 every turn. I'm playing 2 Jerrys now. I reduced it down to 2 just because I needed to make space for other things. Then I'm gonna show you what here in a minute. Jerry is, play her for 4 or off of the Ulforce, and then you can play a Leomon on play with her. Still very good at 2. You see it enough, especially if you see the security and then they think that they're going to go for game or whatever, and you have a Leomon in a hand. Play this comes out, Leomon comes out, and then you have a blocker with 2 memory when on deletion. Still a really solid card. Also, you can draw a card whenever they swing. Every time they swing, or once per turn, when they swing, you tap this every time to draw a card. Now the last 2 are these 2. So you got Omnimon and Great Maelstrom. If you're going into Ultimate Cup, obviously you can't play Omnimon, so you bump this up to 2. And the reason you play this card is because this is your out to Quartz. And in Ultimate Cup, you're going to be playing, most likely, I anticipate Green Bean coming back with Quartzmon for sure, with Hydramon and the other guy they run, I forget his name. But anyways, they're going to play Quartzmon for sure in that deck, just to try to shut down a bunch of other decks. This is your out. It is costly, very costly, but it's the only way to get out of Quartzmon. So you need to save this card in your hand every time if you're going up against Green in Ultimate Cup. Even if you're going up against Hunters in regular cup, like regular format, if you play this card, you need to save it because you need to anticipate them having a Quartz. If they're playing any kind of green deck or black deck or any kind of cross deck like Hunters, you need to save this card. I played against Machinedramon in one of the locals matches. Did not anticipate him having Correspond. I had already used both my Omnimon and my Great Maelstrom. There was literally nothing I could do. They had 3 security. I had to end up scooping because I couldn't do anything to block that Correspond. This has to be your card in hand that you keep if you draw into it. Just for that. Just in case you go into a Correspond. If you're playing against War Greymon or anything else like Gallonmon or Red Hybrid or whatever, and you need to use this, go ahead and use it just to clear your board. Other than that, save it in your hand. The Omnimon is what I would prefer running at a 2 of if I was running regular format. Omnimon screws over a lot of decks. It can screw over Beelzemon, can screw over Machinedramon because you're placing 10 cards from their trash to the bottom of the deck. Now if you're playing against Beelzemon and they're almost at 20 and you drop this bad boy out with blocker evade unsuspended, you put as many Beelzemons as you can from the trash to the bottom of the deck. Anything that does not have an activation on trash, you put that to the bottom of the deck, and then you set them back a turn or two because now they have to mill more and more and more. So this is a great card to have against Beelzemon. Against Machinedramon, put all their level 5s back to the bottom of the deck. All their Machinedramons and level 5s, everything that they have in the trash, put it to the bottom of the deck. Because now they're not going to have any ammo for their Machinedramon or their Chaosdramon. They're really, really good card. And also it gives you back your Ulforce at the end of the turn, or at the beginning of your turn, because it gets trashed and you trash security from your opponent's security stack. So it gets kind of de-digivolved, but you're just trashing it. And then you get back your Ulforce, whether it be Ulforce X or Ulforceveedramon. So I would run the 2 of this in the regular format just because Omnimon is it's also a really good security bomb, 15k. A lot of Digimon that swing into that are gonna die unless they're playing like War Grade that gets up to like 21,000. Same thing for this. I mean, you could play a 1-1 split right now. That's what I'm doing just because I don't have 2 Omnimons Merciful modes. I only have this one, but I plan on getting one soon. But I'm gonna be probably running 2 Merciful modes and then cut this out for whenever Ultimate comes around. But this is your get out of jail free card whenever they play Corpsemon. So that's gonna be it for the deck, guys. Ulforce is still a very strong deck. Don't let people tell you it's not. It's really strong. It can compete as well, and I don't understand why people say it's not fast enough. Like, I don't know, I don't see how fast do you want the deck to be. This deck can go off in like around turn 3, because if you go first, you go into Vmon and Veedramon. If you get the God Hand, and then next turn you go into Ulforceveedramon, or if they give you 3 for some reason, you go into Ulforceveedramon first and you go to 0, you go into Ulforce immediately, and then have block or evade. It's still a very fast deck. I mean, Melga is fast too, but they have to see their pieces just as much as we have to see our pieces, because Melga's not going to come up unless they have a Garurumon X on the field to protect them from swinging in security and hitting big bodies, because that's just how it is with Melga. Same thing for Ulforce. Ulforce is not going to raise unless you have Ulforce and Arena or Tamers to play off of and keep turn. It's the same concept. So that's why I don't understand why people say Ulforce is not good, or it's the tier 2 deck. It's a really good deck still, and that can still perform. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the deck, and let me know what your guys' deck ideas are when it comes to Ulforce. See you guys next time.